Nick.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Good.
I just had the pleasure of watching you have a little bit of a natter.
Yes.
Do you want to tell anyone that's sort of listening what you were talking about, and also a little bit more about Radio Days?
Absolutely. So I've just done the session, How to Be a Better Program Director. I used to be a program director. I now work as a consultant with many, many program directors, and I got two of the best to have a chat about that. So from KISS, Rebecca Frank in the UK, and from Absolute Radio, Paul Sylvester. And we had a good old natter about all the challenges of being a program director, and hopefully we've inspired people. A little bit about Radio Days. I've been working with Radio Days for many years now. We travel from city to city, and it's like the Glastonbury of radio geekery. It really is a tremendous event. We've got over 1,500 people from 65 countries, and it's just great. If you are a fan of radio or love radio, you've just got to be at Radio Days Europe.
Yeah, totally. I think there isn't a better event to come, consume everything radio, because the interesting thing, right, and this is my ignorance, and I'll completely admit to this, as someone that's been in radio for professionally around 2 years, the radio landscape of the UK in comparison to everywhere else in the world, very, very different. Why do you think that is?
I think every country is at a different point on the curve of technology, of content, of regulation, of talent development. And so I travel a lot around European countries, and I see real differences between the UK, where I live and are based, and the countries that I'm working in. However, having said that, the people are the same. Radio people are the same all over the world. I was working at a radio station in Lagos, Nigeria, and you go, okay, Lagos, Nigeria, that's an exciting place. Yes, it is. You get in, you sit down with the breakfast show, they're just the same, right? And they got the same challenges, and so radio people all over the world are the same. The UK is a competitive market. We've had the advantage of commercial radio being born in about 1973, so we've had a good run at it so far. And so, we've learned a few things along the way, but the race is not run. This is an ongoing thing, and we've got to develop, and we've got to adapt, and we've got to constantly find new ways of delivering great audio content to audiences.
Let's talk about talent, which is something that you spoke about in your talk just then. The radio landscape in the UK has significantly changed in terms of a lot of the big sort of companies swallowing up all those stations. Local radio isn't really a thing anymore. If someone wanted to get into the radio industry, how would you expect someone to go from community to national radio? What's your advice for someone wanting to break into the industry?
Well, let's start with your point about the routes in being somewhat limited now. When I first started, I'm from Liverpool. I started at Radio City in Liverpool, and I was given the evening show and the late night show and the weekend shift.
I'm really sorry, the lack of Scouse accents makes me really sad.
I'm a posh Scouser. There's 7 of us. So I was there, and I did the shows that people didn't want to do, right? And those opportunities. And as we've seen with the networking and with more and more local stations being swallowed up, there are fewer opportunities on that side. However, when I was a kid starting out, I kind of had, Bedroom FM, as we all did. But nowadays, Bedroom FM can be an internet station. You can do your own station. You can put your own stuff out there, right? And so as one door closes, another one opens. I think the key to starting is just start.
Yeah, totally.
Just do it. There's loads of bits of software out there which you can get. You can set up your own radio station in your bedroom, literally. You can buy a mic and just do it. You need to get flying hours, as I call it,
yeah,
right?
Totally.
Yeah.
To challenge you a little bit, and I really want a truthful answer here. How important is a new talent or emerging talent social media, their presence on social media, what they're doing outside of radio? Mm-hmm. How important is that when you're looking at new talent?
I think it really helps. I've worked with and found talent that have a social media presence, and they're really good on TikTok, and they deliver all sorts of creative ideas. You get them in a radio studio, it doesn't always work. It's not a guarantee. I think what it does is it is a mark of familiarity for some people. Yeah. So, for example, if you have someone who's got a really good Insta presence or a really good on TikTok, and you bring them onto the radio, and your radio station's serving the same sort of market as they're serving with their socials, then there might be a bit of traction, there might be a bit of familiarity, there might be, oh, that's the person I follow on TikTok, and they're now on the radio, right? It's not a guarantee of success, but of course it never hinders you, right? So yeah, absolutely, get a presence, get going.
Yeah, totally, get going. So, same with the radio, same with social media. Just get it out there, get going, experiment. Okay, we're talking a little bit on digital. A lot of the discussion this weekend has been around AI. What that looks like for radio. I mean, that is a whole different kind of mind game.
How long have we got?
I was just about to say.
Have you got extra memory cards? I think we're going to do the AI chat.
Thoughts? Just tell me about it.
All right. So when I was first presented with an AI product for radio, I said to the creator of it, I said, I absolutely love it, and I absolutely hate it.
Okay.
So I love it because I love new innovation in technology, and I can see how this can potentially be deployed. It can be really useful in certain areas, and it's getting better and better and better, and there's no doubt about that. So I love the potential of it. I hate it also because I'm a people person, and I like people, and I like creative ideas from people. People go out and have experiences that they can then talk about on the radio the next day. Yeah. You know, an AI didn't go to the gig last night and share the experience of that and how they got covered in beer or whatever with their audience. And so the human experience is something that I think should be authentic and lived, and an AI ultimately is faking it. Right. So if you believe in authenticity and you believe in people, you'll also believe that radio has a future. Just one other point I'd make about it: I think we might end up with a two-tier system where we have very good AI-generated radio stations and voice-tracked stuff that's come out of AI, and that's okay. And there'll be another track of stuff which is curated, authentic, real people. And the analogy I think of is it's a little bit like at a supermarket. You can buy the supermarket bread, which is pre-sliced and comes in a plastic wrapper and has got lots of additives and is a bit fake, frankly. Doesn't taste great, but it's okay. And then you can move along the aisle a little bit and you'll find the artisan loaf, the sourdough, which has got great ingredients, and people have actually made it by hand.
Stop it, I'm hungry
Right,
now.
there you go, right? So I think there's a difference, and there will be a difference moving forward. Not necessarily a bad thing, and I don't want to write off the AI stuff because, as I said, I love it and I hate it in equal measures.
Yeah, totally. I think authenticity is the key word there, which I'd never really thought about, because, you know, a big question, as a presenter, am I going to lose my job? And actually, you're so right. You know, we had the pleasure of partying together last night.
Well, steady on now. It wasn't that much.
I'm spreading rumours here. That's what I'm doing. And, you know, an AI can't necessarily come and chat about that. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Another big topic of conversation this sort of the last few days, that 15 to 24-year-old market. What should we be doing? How should we be doing it? Who's doing it right for you at the moment? Give me some examples.
Okay, so there's no doubt that we're living in the attention economy, and it's a battle for eyes and ears out there. And for 15-24s, they are now used to a non-stop diet of instant content, an endless stream of stuff, and you just have to look at how 15 to 24-year-olds use TikTok, and they give it 2 seconds, and if it doesn't grab them in the first 2 seconds, they're gone.
That is the statistic.
Yeah, absolutely.
3 seconds.
Yeah, so we've got to be, you know, radio's slightly different because it's about brand as well, and so rather than just kind of random clips turning up and instantly like them, there's a trusted brand that you might go to. I think we've got to have engaging personalities. We've got to have fantastic music, of course. We've got to be a mood radio station. So if I was targeting 15-24s, I'd make sure that I was reflecting the mood of the time. And we've got to have great engaging marketing as well, you know, so getting the message out there. So yes, it's a challenge, of course, but it's not just about linear audio. It's about creating a brand and creating touch points with that brand right across. Some of it might be linear audio, but others might be on socials.
Yeah, I get that. Final question for you. What is the future of radio? Are we still going to be here in 20 years' time?
Well, you will. I'll hopefully be retired and sailing on my yacht around the Caribbean. Listen, I think the death of radio has been always heralded and never quite happened. It will continue to evolve, right? As long as people are interested in other people telling stories. This is as old as time itself, where people gathered around the campfire and told other people's stories, and they were engaged in those stories. So as long as we keep doing that, yes, the method of distribution might change, but actually, if people are interested in listening to other people, then I think radio has a very bright future.
Nik, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.